Hey guys, good video today, good video every day. Two issues I'm going to talk about, both are very important. The last thing I will talk about is going to be about prophecies of the end times. So I'm going to look at Daniel 9 to make you understand a bit more when where people get the 7-year tribulation. And let's look at Daniel 12 and 2 Thessalonians. I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can because I'm running on a timeline right now. We all work on a timeline, but mine's really quick right now. The first thing I want to discuss is what's happening in the world. I just want to shout out very quickly to people who leave nice comments. I hear your comments, so like Susie, Annette, Trucker USA, I forget what it is. Blue Roses Forever, I think that's what it is. It's got my mind right now. I know who you all are. Thank you for following my videos. There's GP something other, and yeah, and there's another guy who follows my channel. You say you watch with your wife. It's just I have a great memory, but quite tired right now. This is important. This is very important. This is purposely planned. You know, you see my other videos, and you know, like the one I made, the very last video that I made, that I'll link up with this one at the end or in the card, the end screen or the card, about that ship, whether it was planned or not. In my view, with considering everything else that's happening, I think they all are. I think they all are, for the most part. Do chicken plants and production plants and beef, do they go up in flames? I think the stats say they do, and probably quite a few of them, but to get the real records now would probably be pretty tough considering the things that are happening. So there are people controlling everything from the very top. We know this. The title of my video is this: where are the brave people? Where are the people that are willing to stand up? That goes for the same. I'm speaking to the US, but I'm also speaking to Canada, all the European places that are starting to put like Australia, the UK, all these insane bills. The things that Justin Trudeau is doing and trying to do, they're insane. They're insane. Hate speech laws, going to prison for life, things like that. So what do they do? This is my belief, that the people above want to cause a civil war. They want to cause a civil war, and I think they're doing a very fine job. Write down below if you disagree with me, but I'll explain my point. Divide and conquer. What is the purpose? So the whole purpose is to bring down the United States, because they're a very strong nation that's holding off all the other nations, like the UN, from becoming the United Nations. The very rich, the very poor, communism. That's what this is about. This is the Nimrod story. So there's very rich people who are doing things behind the scenes that we'll never know who they are until the end. I think we will know who they are at the end. I'm sure we'll know some of them. So we see what's happening at the border, and I watched some videos today. And it's true. If you're a border patrol agent, you know, I don't usually watch the show Redacted. Like, if I see something of interest, I'll do it. It seems propaganda to me. But at least some of their things are true. They were saying that the Border Patrol agents, you know, these journalists are questioning, saying, why are you allowing this to happen? They're saying, because my pension, my kids, my this and that. And would the people in World War I, II, Korea, up to, say, Desert Storm, would anyone tolerate this? Because if you're putting people on planes, if you're letting them come over the border, and you're putting them on buses, you are contributing to treason. I'm not wrong about that. You're doing a treasonous act to your own country. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to. I'm not just someone behind a YouTube video saying this. Okay, that's not the way it is. If there is a protest where I live in Canada's capital, in Ottawa. So I forget if Toronto is our capital. I keep getting those two mixed up. Toronto and Ottawa. Oh my. This has never happened to me. This always gets mixed up. Is Toronto or Ottawa the capital of Canada? Ottawa. Now that's what it's. Toronto is of Ontario, and that's what always gets mixed up. Guys, I'm tired. I can't believe I got that wrong. I feel so stupid. That if enough people want to do a debate, even in the pain that I suffer with, right? So there's my excuse. I have too much pain to really do a lot, so I come on here. But if someone says, you know, there's 5 or 10,000 people going out to try to take Trudeau out of power because of the stuff that he's doing, yes, I'll go. I will go. So that's what it takes, and this is what people aren't doing. This is a big disaster. So I'm applying that to the States, and I'm saying, why are you doing this? Why aren't you closing the border? Why aren't you marching on the border? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, Texas is talking all this big talk. They're all talking such big talk, but they're not doing anything. So the step number one is, this is what I think they're doing. They're starting to divide America. Yes, they're doing it for voters, but do you hear in California they're giving migrants, well, they're giving all migrants like 10 grand, on a card. They give them phones. In California, they're making them police officers with allowing them to carry guns. There's more to just them doing this to get voters. It's to drown out the middle class. It's to cause strife. So it's like 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm not done. I just heard today they're going to give New York, like in New York, I don't know if it's the states in New York, they're going to give prisoners who just come out of prison a $2,000, $2,500 card. Whatever they want to do with it. And I can't speak to the specifics. I don't know the truth to it. I'm guessing it's true. The next thing that's happening started with Obama. You know, when I grew up in 1991, 91 when I was in high school, started high school, there was a lot of like, you know, racist this, racist that, when no one was really racist. It was just put throughout the culture, and I hated it. It was like a war against white people, and that's what it feels like right now. It feels like a war against white people. The most hated people right now are white people. And studies say that it's otherwise, that we're not really like that, or the police aren't like that either. There are not biased crimes. Sorry, there's like a really loud vacuum out there. So in 2008, and I don't know. Sorry, that's really loud. All the specifics. I just know that Obama started to bring up things like xenophobe, whatever phobe. It was all these different phobes, and I tell you, it began there. I may have to make another video because of this, and because of my time. But I have hyperacusis, so. But it began again, and he planted those seeds. He planted those seeds of hate and division. And if it wasn't enough for him to be president for 8 years and instill these things in people, right? Now, the best guess is that the person who's really running the Biden administration is him. All these stoked racial tensions, these are in the Bible. Kingdom against kingdom. I forget what it is. Like one of the translations really means ethnicity against ethnicity. When you look at all the trans, why is it they're like less than 1% of the people? So why are they it's like they're dividing us. And when you think about it, there's nothing. Look at what Joe Biden said on Easter Day, when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. They made a trans awareness, as if their months and days, of LGBTQ aren't enough already. Purposely inflaming. Don't ever think that's a mistake after looking at the track record. So it's all these things. And you look at the virus and everything. You look at all the things that are happening. What's happening in all this, what would be the proper name? Confusion. What is it? Cognitive dissonance type thing. Is division. Put the people against the whites against the blacks, certain groups against other groups, bring the migrants in. This is what they're doing. And the basis of what I'm saying is, why aren't you standing up? Stop it. Go to your border. March on it. You see the protests in Israel. I can't claim to know exactly. I can't claim to know exactly what's with this judicial reform and all that, but what I can tell you is those people were willing to protest weeks upon, they're doing it now, and I'm not saying that's right. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not going to pretend. Other people are willing. The people in the US are so taken with their phones and electronic devices, video games, virtual reality. Like, wow. It's like they're testing us to see what we can, like what we're willing to tolerate. And so they build a whole file. Basically, they build a file on us. Push, prod, here, do this. Do you get it? Just give me a few seconds, maybe that will stop. That's all I had to say about that. Where are the people coordinating these types of things? And that's just something I watched that gave me an idea to make this video. I just don't understand. What point does it have to come to? And I know what point what it comes to. It's when the food supply starts to go down. It amazes me. It doesn't surprise me, but it's amazing. Let's take a look at some prophecy here. The great apostasy, 2 Thessalonians 2:2. Now, brethren, concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, this is the devil. And our gathering together to him, we ask you not to be soon shaken in mind or troubled, either by spirit or by word or by letter, as if from us, as though the day of Christ had come. Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first. And the man of, okay, so the great falling away. I believe that's happening. Kenneth Copeland, all those types of things are becoming, there are so many new like prophets, and there are so many of them. You see what the Pope is doing, like it's out of control. Like fever pitched. We know it, and I believe that's it. And the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition. So, we can expect whoever this is, and you know what the thing is with Bible prophecy, it doesn't always turn out the way you might think it does. You don't know what's symbolic, you don't know who opposes and exalts himself above, there's great contention in this, who opposes and exalts himself above all that's called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. The big question is this going to really be in a temple, or does this symbolize that we are the temple? So what does that really mean? I can't pretend to know. Do not remember when I was still with you, I told you these things. And if you do have a view on that, tell me in the description, in the comments section, what you think that is, if it isn't a real temple. I'd like to hear your analogy. Do you not remember when I was still with you, I told you these things, and now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains, the Holy Spirit, and the Spirit that's within us, will do so until he is taken out of the way. So total evil. Does it not appear that though that band-aid is starting to be pulled? And yes, it'll get so much worse. 10 times. Whom the Lord will consume with the breath of his mouth. So, between the time of, so we're just waiting for the son of perdition. The great falling away is most definitely happening and in the process. There's no timeline in this. The coming of the lawless one is according to the works of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they didn't receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this reason God will send them strong delusion, that they will believe the lie. And they'll all be condemned who didn't believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So, people are blinded, we know this, right? So we're waiting for that to happen. We're waiting for... We can see the pattern of things that are happening, that this pertains to right now. How long could that last? Could that be 3 years? Could it be longer? It could be. Let's move on to another scripture here. Let's go to Daniel 12. I don't claim to know everything about prophecy. I don't. People always get things wrong. I mean, people get things wrong. Where it says time, times, and let me see here. You know where it says a time, and half a time? The holy people will be shattered. I believe that was from 598 to 1798, which was 1260 years of the Roman Empire. It was exactly 1260 years, and those people were shattered. So, then I heard the man clothed in linen, this is Daniel 12:7, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time, 1260, 3.5 years, but in Bible prophecy you convert that to years. And when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, I didn't understand, and I said, my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? He said, go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335. I can't explain those. Not here anyways. But you go your way to the end, for you shall rest and arise to your inheritance at the end of the days. So, it's official that the year 598, that's when the official height of the Roman Empire started, 598. And when the Pope was arrested by Napoleon's general in 1798, that equaled 1260 years. So they were oppressed. They couldn't read the Bible. They killed people. They tortured people. Many millions, tens of millions, up to 60 million people died, guys. That's what this is. It was exactly 1260 years. The Pope was exiled and died. And that was the wounded beast. He received his wound. That was the papacy. That's what I believe. So I'll move right on to the other one. So the abomination of desolation was, what is that? I mean, there's different views, but I'll get to that in this. So, Daniel 9:24, I'll just go and read from there. 70 weeks are determined for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring an everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, to anoint the most holy, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Know therefore and understand that the going forth of the commander, restore and build Jerusalem, until the Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So that's 69 weeks, right? Just so you know, when you read that, and my pastor said to me, I wouldn't have guessed this myself, it says there should be 7. Why does it say 7 and? Why didn't it just say 69? Because he said, because that 7 weeks, which is 7, I forget how it's calculated in my mind right now, 7 years is the time it took to rebuild the temple. That's why they're split up. The street shall be built again in the wall, even in troublesome times. You can read Nehemiah, so they built that in troublesome times. And after the 62 weeks, so from the decree, right, of building the temple, you could do the math. Open your eyes, people, right? Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the... Okay, so this is where... And after 62 weeks, The Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. Was the Messiah cut off of the land of the living? Correct, right? But not for himself. He did it for us. And the people of the prince who is to come, not the prince of the power of the air. That would be made pretty, I think it would be made known. This just says a prince. Who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. That's Matthew 24. That's 70 AD. That happened. The end of it shall be with a flood. Of course it was. 1 million Jews died. And till the end of the war, desolations are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. That was Jesus Christ. That's not the Antichrist. The only person, go look it up, who made a covenant? It's going to come up Jesus, 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 Jesus. Jesus made a covenant with us. And then in the middle of the week, so it's 7 years, right? This is where people get the 7-year tribulation. There is no such thing as the 7 tribulation. It's not biblical. It's Jesus Christ who made it. And I can prove it because in the middle of that week, it was 3.5 years into Jesus Christ's ministry. They killed him. So he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. He made a covenant with everybody. But in the middle of that week, 3.5 years in, he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. It sounds like the Antichrist people are saying, bringing an end to the sacrifice in this new temple. That's not it. When Jesus Christ was cut off from the land of the living, he was the sin offering. Therefore, the end to sacrifice and offering is done. They don't have to sacrifice anymore. That's what this means. And on the wings of abominations shall be made one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate. It's what happened in 70 AD. They set up their standards and completely destroyed and cast off the Jews for many, many years. They're not cast off forever. This is what I see. I've got to cut this off. Sorry, guys, because I'm running on a... It's not easy explaining that. You have to do a lot of studying. I'm not the best person to do this. I'd have to do it on a chart or something like that. But anyways, have a blessed day.